James, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I gather you voted to leave, but you've changed your mind. Why is that?
I have changed my mind. In fact, I actively campaigned to leave in my area, and it's something that basically all the Leave campaign promises have all been broken. That one of my reasons was that we would be staying in the customs union and single market. Both of those promises were almost immediately reneged on and said, oh no, we're leaving everything. It's like, hang on a minute, no, that's not what I thought. And I hadn't fully appreciated the impact it has had on my family life, my personal life. My wife is European, and I hadn't fully appreciated the impact that would have.
So can we just go back to 2016 and the run-up to the referendum? And you say you actually campaigned to leave. What was it about leaving the European Union that attracted you?
Well, I think it goes down to family politics. My dad was used to be a local Conservative councillor, and then he ran for the Referendum party, if anyone can remember back to 1997, which was trying to get a referendum on our membership of the EU.
Yes, wasn't it Sir James Goldsmith?
That's correct, yes. Yeah. So I remember being a teenager with a rabble army going around campaigning for that. And obviously that timing was wrong, and I guess I've re-educated myself. I've really got to know with what actually goes on in the EU, and actually we've been fed 20 years of lies by our own politicians about what actually happens in the EU, and it's them doing it. It's like, well, it's not them, because we're part of them. We have our own MEPs there who bring forward many of these motions themselves. So it's a collective decision. It's not just them and us. And I think that's been lost in this whole Brexit argument, and hence why I've very much vehemently changed my mind. And I mean, just the mess we're in now, it's just terrible.
Just out of interest, James, when did that moment happen? I mean, obviously we had the referendum. Many people were quite shocked when the Leave campaign did win, because people thought that we would opt for the status quo. When Leave won, there were many people celebrating, and there were many people absolutely distraught. At what point did you start to think, oh God, this was a bit of a mistake?
It was the morning after, when it really hit me. We went to bed about, I don't know, 12:30, 1 o'clock, where Nigel Farage was giving his we haven't done it speech and all that sort of stuff. And I was actually feeling a sense of relief that, actually, I'm glad it's gone that way. And then
James, that sounds very weird. I mean, how can you have campaigned for something and then have gone to bed hoping that you didn't win? I don't quite get it.
Well, it was for me. It was more about giving actually our government a kick in the teeth, to say it was almost like the wrong question, the wrong question at the right time. Because I wasn't really happy with how things were. I didn't like certain aspects of austerity and the blasé-ness of the government of the time. And unfortunately, that's just got 10 times worse now. And
so for you, it was
when you wake up with your wife in your arms in tears, you sit up and go, oh bugger, I've made an absolute terrible decision here.
And when did you wake up to find your wife in tears?
When we heard the result in the morning.
So when you woke up to the news that we were leaving the European Union, your wife was crying?
Yeah. It was just like, what have I done? I've believed the lies of a lot of these politicians over I just hadn't appreciated that impact, because so many people were saying, oh no, it'll be fine, all the Europeans here, everyone will be fine. And it's like, I think my mum might have to sign something for work because she's a EU citizen. There's the underlying feeling across a lot of what's happening in this country is just, I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed of what we've become. I used to be proud about being British and being out in the world and going, yes, well, we're one of the custodians of righteousness throughout the world, and we've gone from that to becoming the laughingstock on the world stage.
But you see, a lot of people would argue that the reason that we are in the chaos, and the reason that if you're right that we've become the laughingstock, and I think that certainly there are people that I speak to in other countries, I have family who live in Holland, and they scratch their heads and think, what on earth are you doing? But I guess the counter-argument to all of this is it's not about the fact that we voted to leave the European Union. It's about the fact that those who've been in charge of the negotiations seem to have made a bit of a cock-up of it all.
Well, they certainly have. And one thing I think is vital, that given the mess we're in, Parliament's almost paralysed, the government's paralysed. There's only one real solution: take it back to the people, give the people that informed consent on this deal, with that option of actually remaining in the EU.
But you see, a lot of people, unlike you, have not changed their mind, James. So a lot of people listening to this programme will be listening to you and thinking, oh, well, do you know, this guy just needs to have more faith. You need to have more faith. Everything will be fine in the end.
Well, that faith has long been destroyed by the constant barrage of facts, figures. People are starting to lose their jobs. The automotive industry, all that investment has gone away. I'm finding for my business it's very difficult. I'm having to hold off investment decisions because we just don't know what's going on.
What business are you in, James?
I'm in the video production business, so in the media world, and there's certain things I want to move forward with, which I'm going, you know what, I'm just having to hold off until this is sorted out, because I just don't want to take that risk.
Just one final question to you, and I want to thank you very much for your kind of openness and honesty this morning.
No, you're welcome.
Your wife, has she ever been angry with you because you were part of the campaign to leave?
Furious. We didn't properly talk about it at the time, and that's something I deeply regret. So I'm doing everything in my power to effectively save my family. It's got that personal, because it's gone beyond. It's gone beyond that. It threatens to split my family up. It's that serious.
I don't mean to pry, but how has it split your family?
Well, my dad he's 83. He's still very much feeling the views of the Brexiteers, but he says, "Oh no, but not you," to my wife, and it's just so the hypocrisy of it all is just ridiculous. And it's like, well, suddenly we're removing so many rights from our own citizens, let alone people coming in and out of the mainland continental Europe. We're actually removing that right of ourselves, where we could go and live and work in the 27 other countries. We're taking that away from ourselves. We're stripping our own rights, and that was never on the side of a bus. And I just feel as though I've been duped. And that's why I'm now dead against it.
Just, I know I said that was my last question, but there's just one other thing I would like to know. You say you've been duped.
Yeah.
Who do you blame for the duping?
I blame the likes of Michael Gove, Nigel Farage, Boris Johnson, that whole ERG lot. I think they've poisoned the process. They've poisoned the whole process and taken their personal agendas above the actual what's best for this country.
Thank you very much indeed for telling us your story and your experience and the journey you've gone on. And I hope that you do manage to patch things up with your wife, James.
I hope so too. I just hope we get out of this mess sooner rather than later. Because if Brexit goes ahead, this is just the beginning. This is the next 10, 15 years of negotiations, because she can't even get a withdrawal deal through. So. And this is the beginning of it. So people think, oh, it'll go away. It'll just get worse if we continue on this path.
Okay. James, thank you very much.